This. There will be days when silence is your only companion, days when no one believes in what you're doing. No applause, no validation. And in those moments, you'll feel the urge to speak, to explain yourself, to prove that you are on the right path. But let me remind you, the most powerful transformations happen in silence. A seed does not argue with the soil before it becomes a tree. It simply grows quietly. The world doesn't need to see every step you take, because when you move forward quietly, you build strength in the shadows. One day, when you rise, your success will speak so loudly that every person who once doubted you will hear it without a word. Stay till the end of this message, because I'll show you why silence is not weakness. It's the highest form of power. Silence is often misunderstood. Many think it is emptiness, the absence of words, of sound, of energy. But true silence is not empty. It is full of awareness, full of control, full of untapped strength waiting to be discovered. When you choose silence, you are not retreating, you are mastering yourself. Most people spend their days surrounded by noise, not just the sounds around them, but the constant chatter of their minds. They talk endlessly about their plans, their dreams, their frustrations, and their failures. They want to be seen, to be recognized, to be understood. Yet in doing so, they lose the most precious energy they have, their focus. Every time you explain yourself, every time you justify your path to others, you give away a piece of your power. There is a moment when you realize that not everyone deserves access to your journey. Not everyone is meant to understand your silence. Some will mistake it for weakness. Others will interpret it as arrogance. Let them. Because silence protects your growth from unnecessary opinions. When you move in silence, you protect your progress from being disturbed by noise. The loudest people are often the most uncertain. They speak to convince others because deep down they have not yet convinced themselves. But the one who knows his direction does not need to talk about it. He moves quietly. His actions become his language. His results become his voice. That is true power. When you no longer need to say a single word to be understood. Think about nature. The sun does not announce that it is rising. The rivers do not boast as they carve mountains. The trees do not speak as they grow tall. They simply do what they are meant to do. In that same way, your growth does not need to be broadcasted. It needs to be nurtured. In silence, you gain the clarity to see your path. You learn to listen not to the noise of the world, but to the wisdom within yourself. When you are silent, you can hear what the world tries to hide. You can sense what others overlook. You become more observant, more aware, more grounded. Silence sharpens your intuition. It makes you sensitive to energy, to people's intentions, to your own emotions, to the truth behind every situation. You begin to act with precision, not reaction. And this calm awareness becomes your advantage. Power is never in words. Power lies in control, the ability to remain centered while others lose balance. Anyone can speak. Few can stay silent and still move forward with confidence. The moment you stop explaining your worth is the moment you start realizing it. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You simply know. When you embrace silence, you free yourself from the opinions that used to define you. You no longer wait for validation because your peace becomes your proof. You start walking alone, not out of isolation, but out of understanding. You recognize that solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. You don't need to be seen to be growing. You don't need to be heard to be powerful. There is deep wisdom in stillness. When the mind is quiet, it becomes like a calm lake. It reflects everything clearly. But when it is filled with noise, the surface is disturbed. Nothing can be seen clearly. That is why silence is not passive, it is active awareness. It allows you to move with intention, to act from strength, not impulse. In time, those who doubted you will see what silence was protecting. They will realize that while they were busy talking, you were evolving. While they were shouting for attention, you were building something that needs no explanation. Success that speaks louder than words ever could. So remain calm, stay unseen, keep moving quietly, because the most powerful storms make no noise until they arrive. Discipline is the art of doing what must be done, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Attention is easy to seek. It feeds the ego. It gives you temporary satisfaction, but it never builds anything lasting. Discipline, on the other hand, builds everything that matters: strength, wisdom, mastery, and peace. When you choose discipline over attention, you step into a path that may seem lonely at first, but it leads to the kind of success that no applause can ever give. In this world, people are addicted to being seen. They post their progress, announce their plans, and crave validation before they've even taken the first real step. They measure their worth through the reaction of others. But the truth is, real progress happens when no one is looking. The transformation you are hoping for does not need an audience. It needs consistency. It needs the version of you that wakes up early, trains when it hurts, studies when tired, and refuses to stop even when it feels invisible. That is where your real power is being shaped, in the silence of your effort. Attention fades. The same people who cheer for you today may forget you tomorrow. If your motivation depends on their approval, then your strength will disappear with their silence. But when you build your habits on discipline, you become unstoppable. Discipline does not need applause. It doesn't need to be seen. It's between you and your purpose. It is the quiet promise you make to yourself every morning and the silent victory you earn every night. Think of a sculptor carving stone. Each strike of the hammer looks ordinary to the world. No one notices the hours he spends perfecting the smallest detail. But over time, those silent repetitions form a masterpiece. The same applies to you. Every small act of discipline is a strike shaping your future. No one may see it. No one may appreciate it, but one day the results will speak so loudly that your silence will be remembered as strength. People often confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation is temporary. It rises and falls with emotion. Discipline is steady. It does not ask how you feel. It only asks what must be done. There will be days when you feel uninspired, tired, or lost. Those are the days when discipline becomes your anchor. When you move through the fog without needing to see the finish line, you are already winning. Every time you show up despite not feeling ready, you strengthen your inner foundation. Discipline also teaches humility. It reminds you that true mastery takes time. You cannot rush growth. You cannot skip steps. The same way a tree cannot demand to bear fruit before its roots are deep enough. You cannot expect results before your habits are strong enough. Discipline is the process of planting those roots deep, firm, unseen. And once those roots are established, no storm can shake you. Attention tempts you with shortcuts. It whispers that being noticed is enough, that looking successful is the same as being successful. But attention is a trap. It gives you the illusion of progress, without the substance of it. When you chase attention, you lose control over your direction. You start doing things for applause instead of purpose. And in that moment, you trade your authenticity for approval. There is a certain peace that comes when you no longer need to be seen. When your only competition is the person you were yesterday. When your focus shifts from impressing others to improving yourself. That is where real freedom begins. Discipline gives you that freedom, the freedom to move quietly, the strength to keep going, and the patience to wait for your moment without rushing. The truth is this: no one truly remembers those who made noise without substance. The world remembers those who created change through quiet persistence. Let your focus be on the work, not the recognition. Build in silence, refine in solitude, and let the results speak when the time is right. Attention may get you noticed, but discipline will make you unforgettable. So choose the harder path, choose the quiet path, the one where no one claps, no one notices, but you keep moving anyway. Because every step you take in discipline is a step away from distraction, and a step closer to mastery. And one day, when your work finally shines, practice. It will not just shock the world, it will remind them that the strongest power is not in being seen, but in becoming unshakable. The path of inner calm is not an escape from life, it is the mastery of it. In a world that constantly pushes you to react, to compete, to prove yourself, choosing calmness is an act of quiet rebellion. It means you have stopped letting external chaos control your inner world. It means you have learned that peace is not something you find, it is something you create. The calm mind is the foundation of all strength, all clarity, and all success. Without it, even the most talented person will fall into confusion and distraction. With it, even the simplest actions become powerful. When you live with inner calm, you begin to see life differently. You realize that most of your suffering does not come from the events around you, but from how you respond to them. People will disappoint you, situations will test you, and plans will fall apart. But the calm person does not react with anger or despair. He breathes, he observes, he acts when needed, and remains still when not. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. To remain calm in chaos is the highest expression of strength. The world glorifies speed. Everyone wants instant results, instant answers, instant rewards. But inner calm teaches patience. It reminds you that true growth takes time, that storms always pass, and that the stillness you maintain through them becomes your most valuable skill. When you rush, you make mistakes. When you panic, you lose control. But when you stay calm, you can see clearly, you can decide wisely. You move with intention, not with emotion. There will always be people who misunderstand your calmness. They will call it indifference or lack of ambition. They do not realize that calmness is not the absence of desire, it is the mastery of it. You can want something deeply and still remain at peace. You can work hard without being restless. The calm person still moves, still grows, still strives, but he does not chase. He aligns himself with purpose instead of pressure. And that makes his every step more meaningful. Calmness is not built in comfort. It is forged through discomfort, through pain, through endurance. You cannot learn to be calm in silence. You learned it in the noise. You learn it when everything around you demands a reaction and you choose not to give one. You learn it when life tests your patience and you respond with presence. Each challenge becomes a training ground for your spirit. Every moment you remain composed, you are strengthening your inner armor. Inner calm is also the key to focus. A noisy mind cannot concentrate. It jumps from one thought to another, scattered and restless. But a calm mind is like still water. It reflects everything clearly. When your thoughts settle, your vision sharpens. You begin to see opportunities others overlook. You stop wasting energy on distractions and start channeling it into what truly matters. Calmness allows you to direct your energy with precision, and that is what makes you effective. Many people mistake busyness for progress. They move constantly but go nowhere. Calmness allows you to slow down enough to move with purpose. It's not about doing less, it's about doing right. You stop reacting to everything that happens and start responding to what truly deserves your attention. You become deliberate in your actions, patient in your process, and powerful in your silence. The path of inner calm is also the path of self-trust. When you are calm, you trust the process. You no longer need to control everything because you understand that not everything needs control. You do your part, and you let life unfold naturally. You stop fighting against what you cannot change, and instead you master yourself. That inner balance becomes your greatest strength because the one who is calm can never be easily broken. In time, you will notice that calmness changes the people around you too. When your energy is stable, it influences others. Your presence brings peace instead of tension. You become a reminder of stillness in a world of noise. And that is one of the greatest gifts you can give, not through your words, but through your state of being. So walk your path with calmness. Let your silence become your strength. Let your composure be your power. Because when the mind is calm, every obstacle becomes a lesson, every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every moment becomes sacred. True success does not come from force. It flows naturally from a calm and disciplined mind. When you master that, you will move through life with grace, with clarity, and with a quiet confidence that nothing can shake. Success is never something you chase directly. It is something that unfolds naturally when you dedicate yourself to mastery. Those who make success their target often end up exhausted, disappointed, and restless because they are chasing a shadow that keeps moving further away. But those who focus on growth, discipline, and inner balance find that success begins to follow them quietly. It becomes the reflection of who they are, not the reason for what they do. When your attention shifts from results to purpose, your actions gain depth. Your energy becomes grounded, and the quality of everything you do begins to rise. Chasing success is like trying to hold the wind. The harder you grasp, the faster it slips through your fingers. You can spend your entire life chasing recognition, wealth, or status and still feel incomplete. But when you focus on becoming excellent at what you do, on improving your craft and refining your mind, success begins to come naturally. It stops being something you run after and becomes something you attract. The truth is success is not a place you arrive at, it is a state of being. It is the harmony between effort, patience, and purpose. When you do something only for the outcome, you lose connection with the process. You stop enjoying the journey and start measuring every moment through the lens of achievement. But the process is where the real transformation happens. It is in the hours of practice, the silent failures, and the unseen efforts that your character is built. Success is simply the evidence of that inner growth. It's not the goal itself, but the side effect of becoming the person who is worthy of it. The mind that chases success is always restless. It compares, competes, and doubts. It constantly looks outward for proof of progress. But the calm mind, the mind that focuses on self-mastery, moves differently. It finds peace in doing the work itself. It no longer asks, when will I succeed? But instead asks this, how can I grow today? This simple shift in perspective changes everything. You stop fighting against time, and you begin to flow with it. Every moment becomes meaningful because it is no longer about reaching a finish line. It's about evolving. Many people think success is about reaching a certain position or earning a certain amount, but that kind of success is fragile. It disappears when circumstances change. True success is internal. It cannot be taken away. It is the ability to remain stable no matter what happens. It's when you can face loss without breaking, face success without pride, and face challenges without fear. This kind of success cannot be given by the world. It can only be cultivated within. There is a deep freedom that comes when you no longer chase outcomes. You start to work because you love the process, because you are grateful for the opportunity to grow. When your heart is anchored in purpose, your energy flows effortlessly. You begin to perform without pressure, and paradoxically, that is when your results become extraordinary. The absence of obsession allows excellence to emerge. You move gracefully, without force, and success naturally follows as a quiet companion. Imagine a flower. It doesn't compete with the one beside it. It doesn't rush to bloom or compare its petals. It simply grows in its own time, under its own light. And when the moment is right, its beauty is undeniable. You are the same. When you stop comparing and start cultivating, when you stop chasing and start creating, your time will come. And when it does, your success will not need to be explained. It will be felt. True success is not about applause. It's about alignment. It's about knowing that your actions reflect your values, that your growth reflects your effort, and that your peace reflects your priorities. When you live from that place, you stop worrying about how others see you. You stop measuring your worth by numbers or recognition. You begin to live authentically, and that authenticity shines brighter than any title ever could. In the end, success is not something you find outside. It is something that awakens within. It is the quiet satisfaction of knowing you gave your best, the peace that comes from staying true to your path, and the strength to continue even when no one is watching. Let your focus be on the process, not the prize. Build yourself, master your craft, and live with integrity. Because when you do that, success will not need to be chased. It will come to you quietly, naturally, and undeniably.